When I was 14 years old, my grandmother got me totally smashed at a wedding in New Jersey. Somewhere in between the third ABBA song and the fourth glass of champagne, she turned to me and said, "Someday, you're gonna have a wedding just like this. And when you do, please, don't let them play any disco." I didn't know how to tell her that actually I wouldn't be having any wedding at all. That I wore these bones like a voiceover when really I was in love with my friend Kathleen. I thought just maybe if I held this itch underwater long enough, it would float up blue. Tried to claw the want from my throat every time Kathleen asked what I thought of her boyfriend. Tore all the power cords from my driving imagination, burning every lamp in my throat watching her. I know what shame feels like. I have painted my skin with postcard gleam, as if the best I could ever hope for is to reflect someone else's shine, as if there were parts of me better off drowned in a swimming pool of whiteout. But it is not in our nature to cringe before the mirror like this. A person who is born blind will tilt their head back and extend their arms when they feel pride. It is in our bones not to bake shame into our blood, but to live boldly. And so now, all these years later, here is my pride. For refusing to allow the wet blanket stare of strangers on the subway smother this burn to hold her hand. For every time someone said, "Wow, you don't look gay," and I didn't say thank you. For refusing to allow this heart to be strip searched from those who want to know if my love is pure enough. Because I have spent years committing hate crimes against myself, and I already know all of those tricks. So when my straight friend asks why she can't have a straight pride parade, I tell her, you can't be proud of something you've never had to fight for. This is for every fairy tale with stipulations, every wedding I watched from the sidelines, every "it's a choice, it's a phase, you're disgusting," every swollen choke of shame I learned to coat my throat with, every gay kid who ever believed nothing would ever make this better because home meant break the parts of yourself that don't fit into the plaster of who you're supposed to be. We already are exactly who we are supposed to be. And just this month, I woke up living in a city where I could actually get married one day. And I never really expected it to mean that much to me. But I think back to that wedding in New Jersey, how I was the last one to leave the dance floor, makeup smeared and beaming, how my grandmother grabbed my hand as I walked by and said, "Hey, I'm proud of you," with no buts or if-onlys clinging to the underside of her voice, and how finally, after all these years, I'm able to say the same thing to myself.